I'd like to give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Solutions Today Supplemental Insurance. If you're a competitor in the cage, in the boxing ring, put your body on the line every time you compete, you can get cut, you could break a leg, a finger, who knows, put you out of work. It sucks. They'll provide you with 24/7, 365 days a year supplemental insurance covering everything from hospital stays, fractures, outpatient surgery, recovery benefits, family plans, and more. They pay out in addition to all other insurance, including WSIB, employment insurance, and your work benefits. Qualification is easy. No medical test or exam needed, no occupational restrictions, and no income verification. Head on over to solutionstoday.ca and get coverage for you and your family. This podcast is brought to you by the one and only Dr. King Faisal Rahman, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you for all your contributions and commitment to all combat sports in Ontario. Your generosity will never be forgotten, and we will forever be in your debt. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my sponsor, Rycor Countertops. They deal in custom countertops in quartz, Corian, Meganite, laminate, and butcher block. They also have custom kitchen cabinetry, closets, laundry rooms, and millwork. They're family owned and operated for 18 years, knowledgeable and highly experienced staff, and friendly customer service. Head on over to 1069 Clark Road. Check out their showroom today. Welcome to Studio 88. Today, my special guest, Melissa Karagianis. How are you, Melissa?
I'm really good, thank you.
Thanks for making the trek in. The reason I want to bring you in today, you fought for me on the past December card, and you're fighting for me again in March. Sorry, and just wanted to do a little bit of highlight on you, just to you're kind of like the mystery girl. Nobody really knew much about you. No one expected you to be that tough when you came. You had a great fight with Randy. Let's take us back a little bit to how MMA started for you, combat sports in general. Let's talk about you.
Okay. So yeah, I have my second degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I started when I think I was like in grade 3, grade 4.
Mm-hmm.
Did that up until I was like 18.
Where'd you do the Taekwondo?
I had like a couple like gyms like in North York.
Okay.
Yeah, and I competed like, in the provincial level, did some like tournaments and whatnot. And then I started working, and then I didn't do any martial arts for like a few years. And then I guess when I was like 21, I discovered Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
And I was honestly like the worst person in the Muay Thai class. I couldn't throw a punch, I guess because Taekwondo's all kicks, right?
Yeah, 60-40.
Yeah.
I came from a Taekwondo background. That's why I asked which gym, because
yeah,
it was Jung Park when I was a kid.
that
And then branched off as Myung's, I think.
Oh yeah.
Master Myung was my teacher for years. Do you know him or no?
I've heard of him. I trained at De Zilva's martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He was
more
like the
karate type of Taekwondo, but yeah.
He was like the coolest like Korean Taekwondo guy because he had a mullet with spiked hair, and he was like full Korean, and everywhere he went was on a motorcycle. Like, he was like super cool. He was like Hollywood, but sorry, continue. So you got into the Muay Thai. Where'd you do that?
Yeah, so at TKMT. So at their like Davisville location, and then I transitioned to their downtown location, and within like a year, I became their first champion at this huge tournament. It's down in Iowa.
Okay.
So yeah, that was like amazing. I worked really hard, into Muay Thai, and I just loved sparring. That was like my thing, even though I was like still like fresh at it and like learning everything. I just loved to spar. That was like my favorite thing. And and then I competed in that for like 4 years. And then I got a little bored of Muay Thai. I'm like, hey, what's next? And I never ever thought I would get into MMA. I think Muay Thai is kind of culty. They're like, oh, like, they always kind of frown upon like, jiu-jitsu and like MMA, and they're like, oh, it's so different. So I was kind of like, oh, MMA is not for me and whatnot. And then, I met Danny, my head coach now at 6 MMA. And so I started training, with him. And then within 6 months, I was offered my first MMA fight, and it happened to be a pro fight. And at first I was like a little hesitant.
Was that with CUF?
Yeah, with CUF.
Okay. What's CUF stand for again, for anyone that
Caribbean
don't know?
Ultimate Fist Fighting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, based in Trinidad. So yeah, but they knew my striking was like really good.
Mhm.
So they're like, don't worry, we'll just give you some takedown defense and whatnot. And like, like we think you can outstrike this girl. And yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few close calls for sure. She almost got me in like the rear naked and whatnot. But yeah, it was a great fight. And I'm really happy that I took that opportunity and it opened up the doors for a lot. Yeah, so
Yeah. So what was it like fighting in Trinidad? Did you go down a couple days before to get accustomed to the weather? Like it's pretty hot there.
Yeah, I know it's so beautiful over there. I went down with like a bunch of my teammates.
Who was that? McLuhan?
Yeah, McLuhan, Dave Henry.
Yep.
This girl, Deanna, she's not there anymore. But who else? And then a couple other people from Matador Gym as well. I think Donnie. And yeah, and then our coach, Danny Bouclair.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great.
Did he fight on the same card?
Yeah,
that
he
time?
did.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't even know how he did that. Honestly, he coached 5 of us, and then he was like the last one to go, and yeah, he won.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah.
And then you had a run with King of the Cage as well.
Yeah. So I guess my fight with Cuff, I waited a year after that for my next fight, and then King of the Cage, they approached me, and they asked me if I wanted to fight this other girl from Toronto, and that was at Seneca Casino, like right across the border. Yeah, so I took that fight, I won, and then they signed me. So then and then I fought with them, I guess like 6 times or so. I became their atomweight champion.
So you're originally an atomweight then?
Yeah. I'm still I still consider.
There's just the thing is with the atomweight division, there's just not a lot of girls. Like I've been trying to find a match for Annie, and it has been a nightmare because they're just not the 105ers. They're just not there. They're all 115 or 25 or 35, but 105 is just a small division.
Yeah, especially in Canada for sure. I think like
it's not even in the States. Like
there's a few of us for sure, but yeah, like I'm like definitely in between weight classes. Like I have fought at 115, but I know naturally I'm like more of an atom weight. Like 110 would be the ideal weight category for me. I've definitely put on some size and some more muscle since I fought at atom weight, but I'm pretty sure that I can get back down to that, and I would like to.
Yeah. What's a day in the life of Melissa? I mean, you work a full-time job.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, you're working and you're training. Like, what's a day in the life for you?
So yeah, my days are like each day is slightly different. But yeah, like when I'm in fight camp, I usually wake up in the morning pretty early, get some strength and conditioning in, the cardio, either pad work, and then usually I work for a few hours during the midday, and then I train again at night for like 2 hours MMA training. And yeah, that's pretty much that in fight camp. Most days I train twice a day. I do take the occasional rest day when I need it, because recovery is important. But I just kind of like, try to get as much work in as I can. Because I know there's some days that, things come up and like, you're a little busy. So just do what you can. And yeah, I train really hard. So
yeah,
focused.
It sounds like you got everything under wrap and like, pretty consistent training.
Yeah.
What's your nutrition like? Did you have to cut a lot of weight?
No, like especially like I put on muscle really easily. Like my last fight camp, I started a little bit out of shape because I haven't fought in like 13 months. And like throughout that fight camp, I was actually putting on muscle. But I was getting leaner, but the scale was going off. I was like, oh boy. So yeah, this time I feel like I'm in great shape, like even better shape than last time. I eat like every 3 hours. I try to eat a lot of like proteins, like well balanced. Yeah, like I don't have to cut too much weight since I'm fighting at 115. But for me, like I'm already relatively lean, pretty lean. It is like hard to cut the weight, like the water weight. I don't like sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So the diet and the diet along the, I guess like 6-8 weeks is like has to be super like on point for me.
So Karagianis is Greek?
Yeah.
Both your parents Greek?
Just my dad.
Just your dad?
Yeah.
You speak Greek?
Who, my dad?
You, both of you.
He does, yeah.
Is it like a traditional Greek home where it's like, how do your parents, like, how do they feel about you fighting?
Yeah, it's not like that traditional. Well, my parents put my brother and I in martial arts when I was young.
So your brother competes too or no?
No, he used to, but he's such a great supporter of me. He's going to come to my fight.
Chris? No, that's your brother. George. My apologies. Yeah,
no, that's okay. But yeah, so George is a great supporter, and yeah, he's been to like my fights like whenever he can. yeah, like my parents, they might come, but like, you know, I'm not like super close. Like they know I fight and stuff, but like I
Mhm.
think they still think it's like, like taekwondo style.
So they don't realize that it's a
They don't
professional
realize
fight in your
they don't
hometown.
yeah, they don't really realize that it's like MMA or like it's a little bit more aggressive, I guess. But they're proud of me for
Yeah.
sure.
So you debuted with me back in December,
Mm-hmm.
and you fought a local fan favorite, Randy Field.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good fight, and I think nobody really understood that. Nobody anticipated you to be as good as you were. I think it was there was unsurety because there's not really much about you online, and it was kind of a controversial finish.
Yeah.
How like how does that, do you going into this fight, is your approach different on it? I mean, you had a little bit of ring rust going into the Windsor show, and now you feel on point. Do you feel you're going to be a different person than you were when you fought in December?
For sure. I feel like I'm always a different fighter. I feel like I'm always like improving. And I've noticed like I took like, quite a bit of time off, like, over the last like year. Some of it I was not even training at all, but I feel like now like mentally I'm like way more focused and like I want it even more. And I
Mhm.
feel like my ground game and my jujitsu, my wrestling and all other areas of my game have like improved tremendously.
Mhm.
And now everything's like finally starting to come together like really really well. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna be the best version of myself, and like I don't really care too much about what my opponent's doing.
Mhm.
Like I know a little bit about her, but like I don't get fixated on it because everyone changes, and like you can't be like, oh, this person's gonna do this, and like they're not gonna do it, right? Like so I'm just gonna be the best version of myself and get that win.
Mhm. Yeah, I like to see you get that win bracket because you're definitely a tough competitor,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people seen that and they didn't realize it
Yeah.
before, which is exciting. Would you run that fight back again? Would you like to do that fight again?
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
and
one of
I
those
I
like?
asked her like I wanted that rematch with her in Toronto. Obviously she said no, but
Mhm.
I don't blame her. But yeah, like I fought like all over like the world international. I fought like the top 3 atom weight in the world, the risen champion.
Mhm.
I was king of the cage champion before. Like I fought like really really tough opponents and like I didn't get those wins, but I put on like really good fight and I feel like
Mhm.
that just makes you better and yeah, so I'm ready for whatever.
Yeah, no, that's great. The what was it like fighting for Risen?
That was great. That was an amazing opportunity. Yeah, so I fought Kana Sakura, like really good wrestler.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I went the distance with her, which was amazing because she's usually finishing her opponents in
Mhm.
like the first round or whatnot. Um, yeah, like everyone in Japan's sweet, like really sweet. The fans, they treat you with respect and like I made some like really good relationships from there and yeah, it was an awesome experience and yeah.
What was the crowds like in Japan when you first
Oh,
show?
it's so different than like North America. There, they're very quiet. They cheer a little bit, but like you're not going to hear any booing. You're not going to hear anything negative. They're just very positive and like the fans, they wait for you outside your hotel and they like really are like so invested into it.
Really?
Yeah, I have gifts actually from like people that like wanted to like talk to me after the fight or like meet me and yeah. Yeah, it
That's
was
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how many would you say is in the stadium?
Oh, like thousands, maybe like 50,000. I don't even know.
Just a lot. I like it.
Yeah,
That's a
and
lot
it's
of
like
people.
televised all over Asia and
Yeah,
like whatnot. Yeah, it's so nice.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Who lined that up for you?
Pardon?
Who lined that up for you?
So like King of the Cage, I was like their current champion and like it kind of happened because like the girl that I fought like submitted one of like their top fighters and like they kind of like share talent a little. So yeah, King of the Cage asked me, they're like, do you want to go over and fight Kana? And I was like, I don't know. But then I'm like, it's a once in a lifetime experience, and
Mhm.
like when you're given an opportunity, you need to go and take it. So I was like, sure. Yeah.
So, what do you do full time job?
I'm a hairstylist.
So, how do your clients feel that knowing that you're snipping and cutting hair all day, knowing that you're punching people in the face on the weekends?
Yeah, they're always nice to me. They're like, okay. Um, yeah, no, they love that I fight and like they find it like really interesting.
Mhm.
Some of my clients are gonna come to this fight. Yeah, like they're always asking me about like, oh, when's your next competition, like whatnot. So they find it like really like interesting and Yeah, like I try not to come to work with black eyes or anything, but
Yeah, but you do anyways, right?
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it
But
is.
they,
It's a part of the game,
but they
right?
love it. They find it like so interesting. They're like, "Oh, my hairstylist is like such a badass."
Because you don't, I mean, you don't look like a fighter,
Yeah.
right? And so it's very like it's deceiving. Like you would never know that. Okay, hold on a second. She's like legit. She's a legit fighter.
Yeah.
Did you get that stigma a lot?
Yeah, sometimes, especially people they don't really know what fighting like what I do, like MMA. They're like, "Oh, like do you scratch people? Like can you pull hair and this and that?" I'm like, "No, it's like legit like mixed martial arts fighting."
Really?
And like
It's that bad. The stigma people don't know.
sometimes some people have like seriously like no clue. So a lot of times I'll just tell them, "Oh yeah, I do kickboxing."
Just to kind
Because
of
I don't
dumb it
feel
down
like
for
I
them.
don't feel like talking about it. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, every day." Like
Yeah. Who's your favorite fighter right now?
I think I like Valentina
Why?
just because her style and she comes from a Muay Thai style background
You
and
like that?
she just seems like whenever like just like so like she's so powerful and like in so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you pay more attention to the women fights than
Yeah.
the men?
Oh, for sure. And like usually ones around my weight division
Mhm.
because it's a little bit more realistic. Like I like, I watch like like I don't even watch that much MMA these days, like here and there, but um yeah, even like the lightweight guys I really like because they're fast and like I'm not a huge fan of like the heavyweights really because like
The
I don't
slow.
really like watching the one punch knockout too much. It's kind of boring.
Really?
Like
So I like that, but but people like that destruction. Right?
Yeah.
It's like that. With a big heavyweight fight, good majority of them go, or someone's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thrill and excitement of it. Whereas the pitter patter of the lighter ones, although they're faster and more high paced,
Mhm.
You get more show out of it for sure. Because then you
Mhm.
can they do all the wild stuff, the flips and the spin kicks and all that extra exciting stuff. But you ever think about fighting Invicta?
Yeah, kind of, but I don't know. I wish like Bellator would open up like a 105 division or
Mhm.
like I'm really happy fighting for Prospect, Canadian
That's
promotion.
good to hear for sure.
But
yeah.
like Invicta definitely is like pretty cool. It's like, but even like the UFC, I feel like some of these other big promotions, they need to open up the atomweight division.
Mhm.
Like they
I
really
think
do.
it's coming. I think that there is
I've
a
been-
demand for it because look how long it took for the strawweight division to get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Randa Marcos, she was my strawweight champion.
Yeah.
And literally there was no division. There didn't even have that division in the UFC at all. And they did the Ultimate Fighter, and then she got the call, and then the whole division was basically created. And like look how many stars
Yeah.
have like just came out of just that. It's good to have the platform, and it's good to have it. A lot of people didn't think women's MMA was even going to sell.
Yeah, and they're so wrong.
They're 100% wrong
Yeah.
because women, they're different. They're different beings when it comes to the fight game.
Yeah.
They bring a whole different energy, a different. It's exciting because it engages the wives. That like when my wife she comes to the fights and she watches and she's like she gets pumped about the girl fights because now she can see what it's like to see a woman the same size as her, except a throw down and try to knock another girl out. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Do you find dating hard?
Not really.
Do you think guys like go, oh man, I don't want to date her because she fights, or like
I wouldn't even talk to those guys anyways.
Really?
But like sometimes like I don't know, they'll like you can tell they're intimidated when they pretend that they know about fighting when they really don't.
and then
Just
and then you
impress
school
you.
them.
Or they're like, oh yeah, I got in like street fights. And
That's
I'm
the
like, that's
best.
not real fighting. I'm like, I've never gotten in a street fight in my life. So like, but yeah, like, no, not really. I don't really have that much time to date and stuff, but like, I'm still like
I was just thinking like on a standpoint like, how does it work with female fighter? Like I had Randy on before, but she was with another fighter. Like, do they attract fighters? Do they, I would imagine dating a chick who fights would be, unless you were in the game itself, it would be a no-go for most people.
yeah, like I think like, like I'm obviously like, I come around the gym all the time and like someone that understands the game, they don't necessarily have to be a fighter. But yeah.
It's a definite perk. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, were you athletic as a kid?
I wouldn't say like super athletic or anything. I feel like as I get older, I get like stronger and I become more athletic.
How old are you now?
32.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm old.
That's not old. That's not old at all. That's still like
Baby?
yeah, that's young. I'm 40 years old, right? So
Yeah.
32, anywhere in the 30s is you can still have a ton of time and you can still make a mark.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I think for females especially, like you don't even start like a lot of like especially the atom weights and some of the straw weights, they're like not even hitting their prime until like a little bit like later on. And like I feel like yeah, definitely like we like the less injuries you have and like yeah, you can go into like your mid 30s for sure and like still like be like, 100% and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a fight coming up, March 8th.
Yep.
And this is your first time fighting at home. Is there pressure there?
No, not really. I'm like really excited. If anything, like I
You
don't.
seem like nothing. You don't give a shit about anything, and I say that like respectfully. I mean, like you're just like whatever, but like you just like super go with the flow.
Yeah, like I'm doing my best, and like I want to like put on a great performance, get that win, and like I'm like every day I like I put like everything into that like preparation for this fight, so I really do care about it a lot. But I'm also, and I get like, stressed out and I get like, it's like really hard being in fight camp. Maybe women feel it a lot more, like the emotions and like men, I'm not sure, but
I'm sure it's probably the same.
it's like, yeah, you get a little psycho.
Yeah. But I mean, I've seen girls I've seen a lot of girls cry after fights.
Oh, I cried
because
during...
of emotion. There's so much like
yeah.
you lay it all on the line, and especially if it don't go your way, I even see even when they win, they cry. It's the same thing. It's like women tend to, they're emotional fighters as opposed to anything else.
Yeah, like for sure. Like I think after I won the King of the Cage belt, I was crying, but yeah. When you go into the ring, the cage, you can't like I'm not like emotional. You can't be like emotional in there really. That's like for me. I'm just like focused.
So where do you get all this mental strength from? Is that a natural thing?
I don't know. I think I've gone through a lot over the years and stuff, but just like I think I am a strong person, but just just life experiences.
And you grew up in Toronto your whole life?
Yeah.
Downtown?
Yep.
Yeah. So like the upbringing, like would you ever thought you'd be fighting 20 years ago?
No. I used to be like so shy and like taekwondo like kind of I guess brought me out of that like shyness. And I used to love competing in that like sparring. That was like my favorite thing ever. But I was always like very shy and like teased and like made fun of and like whatever and and I guess like up in like when I started doing Muay Thai is when I started to become like really confident and like winning and just training. So that's like I've overcome a lot, but I never like ever thought like growing up, oh, I want to become a fighter. To be honest, I didn't even know like what combat sports really was until I started doing Muay Thai. And like I just kind of thought I knew about taekwondo and karate. And now like I'm doing like professional MMA, so yeah, it's come a long way.
You ever been to Thailand?
Yeah, I trained there for a month and like I fought in Thailand once.
How was that?
It was nice. I think too in Ontario and like Toronto, like you can get like really good Muay Thai training. It's nicer because like, you don't have to worry about anything. You're just training. And it's nice. You meet a lot of cool people and it's hot and like it's nice. But I think it's hard unless like because you need to support yourself, right? You need to have a job and stuff, and you can't like just like really get up and like leave and like go do that. It's not very realistic for a lot of people. But
when did you go to Thailand?
That was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so a while ago.
And where'd you go?
I was in Bangkok. I was like in the city in like a little suburb. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And you fought over there as well?
Yeah, I had like a fight.
How was that?
Yeah, it was honestly one of the easiest fights.
Really?
Like it was really easy, but it's like the Thai girls are so different than North American girls.
Well, the pace is different.
Yeah, it was like a 5-round like fight. It was at like some it was like some festival in like the countryside.
Yeah.
But like I didn't win, but like it was like just like no injuries. It was just very like
You lost the decision?
I don't even remember what it was. Like yeah, I guess they gave it to her because like she was like
they score things very different.
It was like it was just a cool experience. Like it was cool. A lot of like yeah, just like a lot of kicks and whatnot. Yeah.
So the real passion is Muay Thai. If you could
Mm-hmm.
do Muay Thai professionally the way you could MMA, would you choose Muay Thai over MMA?
I thought about that honestly. Over the last like year, when I wasn't sure when I took the break, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to get back into MMA just because like just some politics and I was like, I was a little bit stressed out, but I still kind of wanted to compete, and I knew like my striking style, my Muay Thai is like really good. But then I'm like, you know what? I've already come this far, and I'm like, just like there's more money to be made for sure in MMA, and I think MMA is like way more popular, and like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, I like my MMA style. I feel like it's like it's coming along, and I've like have my own like.
Who do you do your jiu-jitsu with?
At 6 MMA.
At the 6?
Yeah.
Who's your coach?
Mostly
for that?
Danny.
Mostly Danny.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, eh?
Yeah.
I just met him maybe a year ago. I kind of knew who he was, like just in passing, because the community is pretty small.
Yeah.
But I never really spoke to him. I was more like in passing. And then he reached out to me last year sometime, and we discussed some things. And I was like, this guy's actually like a really cool guy. He was like, very easy to talk to, very polite, family man. He just had a baby. Like there was just so many like. He kind of reminded me of myself just because I found he was like he was super easy to talk to, whereas the fight game is very like can be judgmental. It could be cowardice. It could be like there is an ugly side to this sport too, and not a lot of people do see that. The jealousy. There's people hate on people for certain things, and it could really sidetrack you. And as long as you stay focused.
Yeah.
You can actually do something with it. And I think the women's division, especially, it's easier to get noticed.
Oh, for
as
sure.
a woman, as opposed to competing against, 1,055ers, and across the country. It's such a small division. If you make a mark, then you can definitely do something with it. Do you see yourself fighting the UFC? Is that a goal? Is that a dream? Or is this just something that you just...
Like, I was like, for the longest time when I was doing really well in the atomweight division, like, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And I was like, and I heard that the UFC is going to open up the atomweight division. And I heard it from a lot of sources, and I was like getting so excited. I was like, yes, I'm like on the right track. And like, and then they didn't, and then I took some fights that maybe I wasn't quite ready to take. And then, the UFC wasn't like opening up the atomweight division. And I was like, oh man. But I would like, definitely, I want to continue to like fight, for a couple more years, one fight at a time for sure. So yeah, I definitely would like to move on to like,
a big show.
Yeah, bigger shows as well. But I'm like really happy to be fighting like, with you guys and like locally in Canada. It's like awesome. You know what? Like all my fights, like my last fight in Windsor was my first time ever out of like my 15 Muay Thai fights, my like 8 MMA fights. That was like my first time ever fighting in like Ontario. So I was like really excited.
How do you like the
about that.
process?
Yeah.
The process is different, right?
Like the medical stuff.
And...
Yeah, but like I've gone through like a lot of stuff. Like Philadelphia is like really rough too.
Okay, so that. I mean, a lot of times that's where the hiccup is.
Yeah, no,
like getting guys licensed. People that don't know. It's EEGs, CAT scans, MRIs. Then there's your blood work, but it can't be just any old blood work. It's got to be, you got to test for hepatitis antigen, and then antibodies. Like it's just, and then getting the tests. To get an MRI, it takes time to get booked in, and by the time you do your MRI, your blood work expires, and then it's like you're back to the drawing board, and then you do your blood work, and by the time you get your blood work, your CT expired, and then. It's that revolving door of trying to get everything done quick, and that's where you lose fights because guys, they're balancing full-time jobs, family, or whichever. They can't always get to those places and get them done, or they're lazy. Sometimes they're lazy.
Yeah. If they're lazy, they shouldn't be in the fight game.
And there's a lot of journeymen too.
Yeah,
there's the ones
hard.
that are the real ones, that are going to do something with it, and then there's ones that they're just taking it because it's maybe a passion project or to fulfill a what's the word I'm looking for? A bucket list, right? But there's a lot of that. I mean, you'll see that. But it'd be cool to have you, for a couple fights, anyways. It'd be like, to develop a women's division would be something huge for me as well.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
So you know nothing about your opponent coming up?
Like I know she's like has more of a kickboxing background,
Which makes for a great fight.
Yeah,
It
for
makes for a
sure.
great fight.
But Muay Thai versus kickboxing,
Mhm.
Muay Thai will definitely win.
Why? Let's have this debate because I could debate. See, listen, I love Muay Thai, but I also love kickboxing,
Yeah.
and I find that the pace of a kickboxer and the pace of a Muay Thai fighter, they're completely different things. Based off a tempo, it's a slower pace the first couple of rounds, and then it intensifies. Whereas kickboxing,
Well, okay.
debate this
I'm
with me,
not. I
'cause-
wouldn't say I'm traditional Muay Thai.
a hybrid.
Anyways,
Hybrid.
yeah, definitely a hybrid. So like, I know what you're talking about, like the
Mhm.
slow pace, just standing in front of the shots, getting
And
eating
it's
them. No.
listen, it's not that it's effective because 100% is effective because whatever they deliver with the intention to destroy,
Yeah,
which is what's super dangerous about Muay Thai.
yeah.
But when you combine the two into like a hybrid, I
Yeah.
like to call it like a hybrid Muay Thai,
Like
which
my
is
style.
don't get hit.
Yeah, you gotta
don't get
move.
hit. Deliver everything as hard as you can, and then don't get hit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Be overly busy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like look at the fights in Thailand. Even
yeah,
they're not scoring your hands.
yeah.
It's not a big thing. But here, the kickboxing, the hands is what usually wins the fight. And in a kickboxer, they throw a couple kicks and then they box.
Yeah, totally. I feel like hands is like the most important thing. Like all my other fights from the beginning, I used to throw a lot of kicks.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
I
that was the
feel like-
taekwondo in you probably.
Yeah, but like now I like set them up a lot more,
Mhm.
and like I'm like a lot more cautious, especially MMA, right? Because you
They
can
take
like
you down,
yeah.
skip you up.
But now I know I'm like so much more well rounded than my last few fights,
Mhm.
and however the fight goes, I'm confident that like I'll be able to like take control and control this fight.
Mm-hmm. No, that's exciting.
Mhm.
So, kickboxing.
Yeah.
It's back to this.
I don't even know that much about kickboxing, to be honest, but
Just because the only reason I wanted to debate it with you because he said Muay Thai was better than kickboxing, but it wasn't a hard disagree. But it was, I think,
they're different. I feel like to be honest, I feel like any martial art is great,
Mhm.
but like they're all like a little bit different. So it's like hard to say one really.
I think
isn't.
every martial art has its place,
yeah.
depending on the situation or scenario,
Hmm.
right? Like a jujitsu guy, could be super dominant, take you to the ground and twist you up. But when there's two other guys outside where you're twisting the guy up, kicking you in your head, it's a different story,
Hmm.
Or what happens if it's too bad you couldn't bite, bite in a fight. It would change things. Don't you think it would change the way jujitsu was done?
Yeah,
Or am I
for
just
sure.
being too barbaric?
Yeah, like scratching too, right? Like biting, yeah.
Bite a neck or a cheek or an ear or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Well, surprised that we got new rules set. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You got a lot of sponsors for this fight? Does your work support you on this?
Yeah, I think most of my coworkers are gonna come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So they don't ever like aren't you worried about your hands? I think because it's your bread and butter.
Actually, once I oh my god, that was the worst. So like I have like this compacted bone in my wrist, and I've had it since I was in Taekwondo years ago. And then I guess I got kicked in the hand, and like I don't know, I didn't get it looked after because I didn't think it was anything serious. And then like years ago when I was like training for WKA nationals, I like punched my training partner really hard in the forehead, and like it's the strongest bone. And then like I compacted the bone in it, and I knew there was a problem after. I couldn't even like do a zipper up or
Really?
like open up my like mascara wand. I was like, oops. So then I had to hide it from my boss because I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me. I can't like do my job. But anyways, it healed up like fast, and I ended up doing the tournament and stuff. It was good. But yeah, like I'm like always careful. But to be honest, like my true passion is like martial arts, is MMA. Like I love doing hair, and I'm good at it. But like my true passion is like fighting.
Just fighting.
So you need to go with the passion.
See, I would have thought that you were a trainer at a gym or something.
Oh yeah, I do. I run a program called Warrior Women Fit.
Okay, tell me about it. That's cool. Why didn't you say something?
Oh yeah,
That's cool. That's really cool. Tell me about it.
thanks. So it's actually my clients at the salon that so I work in the Kingsway. It's like in Etobicoke, and they're the ones that gave me the idea. They're like, Melissa, they would always ask me. They're like, you're such good shape. Like, what do you do for your workouts and stuff? I'm like, oh well, I do MMA. And like they're like, do you train people? And I'm like, no, I'm like fighting at the time. But they're like, if you ever stop fighting, let me know because I'm gonna take your program. Like I want you to train me. And then I got the idea. I did stop fighting for like a year. And then in that year, I started up my program out of Kingsway Boxing, their high performance studio,
Mhm.
and it's like a hybrid class, like a mixture of like a boot camp with mixed martial arts, so a lot of kickboxing, Muay Thai, self defense. So I run that like twice a week, and I've been doing it for a year now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really
and
cool.
you don't need to be like a fighter or anything, or like in great shape, or
Well, funny story. Anastasia,
yeah.
RG told me a story about her, basically saying that she got into MMA just because she wanted to get in shape. It had
Oh.
nothing. She had no desire to fight. It wasn't even in her vocabulary. She just wanted to go get in shape and hit some. And I look at her skill set. It's always the ones you never think.
She's yeah. I think her dad though was like a martial artist.
Mhm. Yeah, you could definitely tell she comes from something, whether it's karate or taekwondo, because her style is not. She doesn't get in a boxing pendulum or a kickboxing stance or a Muay Thai stance. She has a more elusive, karate-esque. Like if I had to guess what she did as a kid, I would have said karate for sure, just because of how she switches her stances. She's always to the left, to the right. The way she moves.
Yeah.
I can pick it apart. Like I've been in the martial art industry for a long time, so I could see the styles. Like I knew you were from Taekwondo because you could just the way you throw your kicks, the way, and Taekwondo actually transitions very, very well into Muay Thai because you have the leg dexterity.
Yeah.
And all they're doing is basically showing you a different style of the kick. So as opposed to the snap at the end of the kick, it's up on your toes, and then you're doing a full pivot, and then leading with your knee. So it's a nice transition. But you can use both at any time.
Oh yeah.
Like that, like a turning kick. You would never see it in Muay Thai.
Yeah, I know.
They don't see it. It could be, and they're hitting with their foot. But imagine you do a turning kick, but you hit with your shin. It's the same principle. It's just putting it all together. Like like with anything, situation is always very different, right? So.
Yeah, that's true.
So now March 8th, fast approaching. I'm excited to have you, and I want to talk about what you're getting to get ready for this one. So walk me through, I lost track for a second there. Walk me through a training camp with Danny. Is Danny your only coach?
No, I have Gerald, Gerald from Mma Fight gym. So I see Gerald like twice a week or so, and we do pad work, mostly like Muay Thai style.
Is that the one you're doing the spinning elbows with?
Yeah.
You got that
you like those
bruise?
ones?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gerald's a good guy.
Yeah, no, he's good. He helped me a bit for the last fight camp as well. And he kind of like got me like back in the summer, we started training together a little bit. And like I've known him for like 10 years. But yeah, it's like this summer is like when we first started working together. So, but yeah, like most of my training, like, my training camp is like based out of 6 MMA, and I can go there like whenever. And like my coaches and my teammates, they come, especially when I'm in fight camp, they work around me. They, like my coaches, they'll like try to like, fit my schedule because I'm like, it's hard with a full-time job and whatnot. And like, usually I just need like more specialized training. I've been working like a lot of like wrestling, takedowns, jiu-jitsu, ground
Is that because
game.
you're preparing for this opponent?
No, like even with the Randy fight, like I was working like on everything, like to be way more well-rounded. And like, yeah, I saw in the fight, like I was like, going for things that I never ever like did in past fights. And yeah, so I was like really happy with my performance. Yeah, and I'm just like trying to sharpen up those tools and like make sure like, whatever holes in my game and like, just, continue with what I'm
you seem
been
like
doing.
you're very calculated on what you're doing. So I'm just trying to pull it out of you. So I'm not, like, but I know it's hard to talk about it because you don't want to give too much up either, right? I mean, you got to fight in 3 weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'm not working on anything like any specific move or anything, right? I'm just working on bringing my best self and like
to be well-rounded and to not have any holes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
No, that's super cool. Any shout outs to any sponsors that you have?
Yeah, not really. Like I'm gonna be like all my sponsors, like you guys have been amazing and whatnot, and like I'm gonna have like my fight banner, my fight shorts, and like all that stuff. And yeah, you guys like.
Are you wearing leopard print this time?
No. I wanted to though. No, joking. But this time, yeah, like yeah, it'll be a really like nice outfit. So you guys have to watch.
So last fight, if no one saw it, you and Randy both wore leopard print.
Yeah.
And it was actually very hard to tell who was who, because there
Mhm.
was so much of I'm gonna say like a scrum. Like you guys were always like, bah, 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 bah. It was like you're watching like a cat fight, in the cartoons. You're
Yeah.
seeing like all the smoke and
Wild
you're seeing,
kitties.
yeah, like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," and you can't see what's happening. You don't know what's happening because they're both wearing the exact same thing. Like I've never seen that ever in a fight. So I was just wondering if you're gonna change up the attire this
Yeah,
time.
I don't know what happened there because like I got mine custom made like a couple months as soon as I found out about the fight, and my guy's in the U.S. Well, but yeah, no, he's doing my outfit again, and yeah, I actually met him when I was in Japan.
Mhm.
So yeah, like he's done a couple outfits for me in the past. So this one's gonna be like a really cool outfit. I actually haven't even seen it for the full outfit yet, but I should be getting it like within the next like week or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Okay,
can't wait to
cool.
see it. I'm really excited as well because he always does such a great job.
No, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, tell everyone where we can find you.
You guys can find me in Toronto.
Social media.
Either at the gym, no joking. My social media is just my name, Melissa Karagianis.
Spell it.
Melissa. Okay, and the last
One
name.
L, two S's.
Yeah, 1 L, 2 S's. And my last name's Karagianis.
No one's gonna remember that. We'll have to post it. But Melissa Karagianis.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I appreciate just the talk. Just wanted to kind of shoot the shit with you, and we got a fight March 8th.
Yeah.
Catch Melissa live at the Rebel Nightclub, and we'll see you then.
Yep. Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Eurosun Tanning Salon. You suffer from eczema or psoriasis? You have acne or sore muscles? Head on in today and visit the tanning beds. They got regular and mega stand-up beds. Get that beautifully tan look that you're looking for. They also offer natural Mystic Spray Tan. You can also purchase premium products such as Australian Gold, California Tan, Designer Skin, and Swedish Beauty. There's many different packages to choose from, 6-session package or a 30-day pass, even single sessions. Sign up today in your membership and get $70 worth of product. They're located across from Masonville Mall in the Wendy's Plaza at 60 North Center Road, London, Ontario. Visit Eurosun Tanning today.